It was a pretty busy weekend for the 2024 Republican nomination process. You had Tucker Carlson there with the Blaze doing the one-on-one interviews with most of the candidates. President Trump didn't go to Iowa for that event, but he did go to West Palm Beach for Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA, where a lot of the candidates were there giving speeches. Ron DeSantis didn't show up for that one. Everyone needs to start showing up for these things, right? I mean, can we take this seriously? To sort it all out for us and tell us exactly what's going to happen next year is senior columnist at Town Hall and man about town, Kurt Schlichter. Kurt, thanks for joining us.
Hey, babe, how's it going?
All right, don't take the man about town thing too seriously. That was just... All right, so can we start with this, though? I mean, are we up to the point now where the candidates should all go to these things together?
Look, I would prefer that. I understand why Ron DeSantis didn't go to a Donald Trump pep rally. Look, I mean, and I like Charlie Kirk and I like Turning Point, but it's like 85% are for Trump.
Hold on.
And this Percy Johnson guy bought 8% of them.
Let me. I hate to disagree with you. No, hold on though. That's exactly where DeSantis should be going. He's not going to be the nominee unless he wins over Trump supporters, and even if they boo him, so what? And if he does get the nomination, he's going to need those Trump people to vote for him in the general election. So why? I'm sorry. You want to put on your big boy pants and run for president. You walk into a room sometimes where you're not going to be the most popular guy.
I don't think having a bunch of guys with MAGA tattoos booing you is the greatest image, especially when he can go to Iowa and pick booty, which he did. And he went to Nashville that night and raised some money. So I get it. He's actually going on with Jake Tapper.
Yeah,
which I find interesting. So if you're talking about going into the lion's den, well, Jake Tapper's a different kind of, feline analogy. I
don't know.
I think Jake Tapper qualifies.
That's fair. Well, we'll see how it is. Do you know, by the way, is that going to be in front of like a town hall audience the way Trump did with Caitlin Collins?
I don't think it's going to be a town hall. I think it's going to be one-on-one. With Jake, who you remember when Jake used to DM conservatives on the down low?
Oh, God.
And finally we're all like, stop DMing me, you're weird.
Yeah.
Plus you're also getting in the way of all the bizarre bots that keep sending me things.
Asking for feet pictures of you? Would you get a lot of that to you?
Well, that was Tapper.
Your column last week headline was "Day One for Our Next GOP President." Regardless of who it is, you have an agenda already laid out. What do you want our next Republican president to do on day one?
Well, first of all, I want him to have a plan. There's no shooting from the hip. You need a ruthless, staffed plan to execute. Not only day one, yeah, but you're going for the first week. And I want to use the stray voltage tactic. Now, that was something that people have done for a while, but it got a name during the Obama administration. What you do is 5 or 6 super controversial things, because the regime media is only capable of focusing on one. So you go in there and you ban ridiculous trans nonsense in the military. You ban DEI. You ban public employee unions. You do like 5 different things. And regime media, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? This is the worst thing ever. And they can't cover them all. They can't effectively counterattack.
Yeah.
You have to overwhelm them. And you hit them hard. You hit them day one. You have a pile of things on his desk, executive orders to sign, pardons to sign. You want to get those out of the way quick. And you just do so much stuff that there's no one thing that they can really focus on.
You also say
seizes the initiative.
You say in this column after your speech at the Capitol, get in your car, pick up your official cell phone, call Christopher Wray, and when he answers, tell him, and I'm quoting Kurt Schlichter here, pack your schiff, you're fired. Looks like Ron DeSantis reads your columns, because he said exactly that over the weekend. He said, day one, I fire Chris Wray.
Oh yeah, there's got to be a firing list. And it has to be merciless. You just have to say, thank you, your service is no longer required. This federal marshal will walk out. Here's a banker's box.
You serve at the pleasure of the president, and it no longer pleasures me.
Exactly. Much like the wife of a bulwark staffer.
Kurt, while you're on that subject, I am curious about Christie's role in this entire affair. Because
well, nobody loves Rolls more than Chris Christie.
What? He claims that he just wants to hit Trump hard and hurt him, but it's obvious to anyone that the more people who are up on the stage and the more people who are splitting the anti-Trump vote, it helps no one more than Donald Trump.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I'm not sure. First of all, I'm not sure Christie can fit on a stage, but let's assuming he.
Is that a joke about his size? Are you alluding?
See, it's funny because he's a big fat guy.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Look, I just don't think the only people who like Chris Christie are the people who like having Republicans run down on their crappy TV show, whether you're MSNBC, CNN, Weight Watchers TV, whatever. Chris Christie's the go-to guy. I mean, on Weight Watchers, he's the before picture.
I understand. Is anyone else in back? Because you kind of like to talk down a lot of the sort of lower tier candidates right now. You don't understand.
Only because they suck, Larry.
Well,
they're a joke.
I got to ask you, because a lot of people over this weekend are buzzing about Vivek Ramaswamy. They think he did very well in Iowa, and he did very well at Charlie Kirk's thing down at West Palm Beach. Is he impressing you?
I don't want a president who first heard Nirvana on a classic rock station.
He's too young, you're telling me.
The guy's 7.
Well,
Ben Shapiro is his elder. He is not. Look, the dude is. Look,
I hadn't thought of it that way. That's fair enough. What about Tim Scott? Tim Scott is also impressing a lot of people. He's a good, decent man.
Guy. Love the guy. If I had to move, I could probably talk him into helping me out.
No, that's.
And he'd spring for the pizza. He's a nice guy. I don't want a guy who's going to get rolled. This guy, because he's kind of a gullible, friendly guy, or Chris Christie because he's actually a seer.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, Tim Scott is is probably the most likely vice presidential pick for Trump. Probably second most likely for DeSantis. I think the first most likely is Kim Reynolds.
Yeah.
Iowa, and I think that'd be a great pick.
Sure looks like that's where he's moving. Real fast, I've only got a minute left here, Kurt. You took to Twitter, and strangely, this was controversial. You said, listen, I don't think this is Trump's year, but I promise to vote for him if he gets the nomination because it means he's convinced the majority of Republicans that he's the guy. Will all the Trump supporters agree to do the same thing if it's somebody else? Why is that even controversial? You got people were yelling at you for some reason.
Well, remember, there are a lot of guys that Trump brought into politics who've never been in politics before. And I know, much like you, there's nothing I like more than a guy who first discovered that there are 3 branches of government in about 2019, lecturing me on how politics works, since I've only been doing it since the 80s.
That's fair.
But look, I mean, they're not Republican. I'm a Republican.
Right.
I have favorite Republicans. There are Republicans I don't like. But I am a Republican because I belong to the conservative of the 2 parties.
That's what party politics is all about.
Yes.
We're going to fight it out. We're going to make our case, and we'll support who emerges.
Yeah. If Trump wins, he wins. I'm for the guy winning the election, getting the support. I thought that's what Trump's guys were for.
Yeah.
I thought they were very into people who win an election actually getting the prize.
Kurt
well,
Schlichter.
I'm saying I'm going to do that. Aren't they?
Senior columnist over at Town Hall, and you can see him musing and maybe even writing some poetry over at Twitter. More to come on O'Connor Tonight.